What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz, the #1 stock trading Discord with a 95% win rate for almost 2.5 years. In today's video, we're going to talk about the exact buy zone for Bitcoin, which happens to be between 68 and 75K, which of course means you bought some last night. And the obvious question of this day also happens to be, if you got stuck holding a silver bag and didn't get out when I said it was time at 117 spot, what should you do right now? And where is it likely to bottom? All that and more coming right up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, God bless each and every one of you. Happy Monday. I hope you're looking forward to the Super Bowl. I'm leaning Hawks. I think most of us are just happy it's not KC and that it's a good game. But tell me, who are you rooting for in the comments below, Pats or Seahawks? Let's hope it's a good game. Before I get knee deep, maybe even waist deep, in a nipply 34 degrees just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and tell you exactly where you should be buying Bitcoin. And don't fall for the bounce that we're currently having. Last trade, 79.25. Silver, 71, bouncing off 68.25, right above the 50-day moving average. Let's do some housekeeping. First of all, James and Juan are having trouble getting in. Fellas, listen to me carefully. We sent you a welcome email. I sent another one today to James. You've got to be a member of Discord first. So go into the mobile app store, download Discord, click the link that we sent you. It'll take you to our server. Verify your email. Come on in, say hello, watch the welcome video, which I'm going to update soon. As soon as we get a few more of you, we don't edit around here. So if you're new, welcome. We get a few more of you to click that link below. And by the way, if you haven't heard the news, not only are we 84-2 in the last 7 months for almost 700% return, not only do we have a 95% win rate for 2.5 years, but I am going to make 300 of you motherfucking rich in the next 5 to 9 years before we have the crash of a lifetime. So in the pinned comment below, you get a Discord. If you don't have a small biz, that's most of our members. Premium, which has everything. If you do, it's 50% off your first month, and the second is free right fucking now at trysmallbiz.com. All right, let's start off with silver. Last trade, 71 on the nose. Again, bouncing off 68.25. I'm talking about paper. Add close to 10 spot. If you watched the last video I did a few days ago, 24 to 36 hours before the top at 122 spot silver, I clearly articulated, and relentlessly so in the Discord, it was time to get the fuck out of Dodge. And I'm not here to throw salt on the silver bug wounds. I've got a dear friend of mine right up the street. Probably won't talk to me for quite some time. Hammered him relentlessly. Doug, or Dougie Fresh as I call him, and we've got one of those in the Discord too. I said, you got to sell some. A third, half, right now. Nope. And oh, by the way, nope. He got sucked into greed and groupthink. He belongs to one of these WhatsApp groups. And by the way, I'm not on any social network except for this one. 76,500 subs, 99% of course, have tuned out a long time ago. If you see me anywhere else, it's a scam. And never send money to anyone anywhere resembling moi except through our website at trysmallbiz.com. I get paid $100 a month to make people rich. And boy, are we 18 fucking times on our money in the last 2.5 years. Are you up that much? Are you 84-2 in the last 7 months? The hell you are. I'm going to share with you exactly what happened in silver, and then stick around for a bonus on Ethereum. I'll even tell you exactly what we bought this morning. We've got a Bitcoin treasury that we caught on the flush to open the 930. And we've got an iShare with respect to Ethereum. I'll give it to you right now. But you do me a favor, give me a thumbs up for this freebie, smash that subscribe button, and join us in the pinned comment below. ETHA, 17 and a quarter. Don't pay over 17 and a half. This is a head fake move. Most likely we're going down to retest the double bottom in Bitcoin of 74.5, which, oh, by the way, was the same low back at the fake trade war last April. This is just like 2022. I'll explain more about that in a second, but let's get to silver. You must remove emotion. I don't give a fuck what the story is, how much you own, what your buddies down the street or the group that you happen to belong to. When you're 400% above the 50 and the 200 period moving average on the weekly and the monthly charts, Houston, you got a problem. And at 117 spot, $5 away from the top, I was screaming, go watch the prior video. Go look at my YouTube wall. It's time to sell. Whether you sold all of it, half of it, some of it, you had to get out. And now the bubble burst. And just like 1980 and 2011, you had a 40% flash crash the first few days to a week. And in the case of 1980, it took gold 25 motherfucking years to get back to even. It wasn't until 2005 you saw that prior high. The good news, if you're carrying a bag, I don't think you're going to have to wait that long. You are looking at months of base building. Where? Somewhere between 55 and 65, maybe slightly higher. You got close today. So while you could easily rally back to where you were in the pre-market, at close to 80 in the iShares and 90-ish in spot, you're going to come back down. You're going to back and fill. You haven't even had the bearish crossover in something called MACD on the weekly and the monthly chart. But again, where were you 6 months ago? 20. Sideways for more than a year. How about before that? 10 or 15 for almost 15 years. So if you do set another base as a result of backing and filling over the next several weeks and a few months, somewhere, let's say around 60, isn't that a hell of a lot better than 20 and 15? Yeah. And because there is a structural imbalance with silver and the demand is far greater than it ever was 5, 10, or especially 20 years ago, I don't think you're looking at a lifetime or a decade or more to get back to 110. If it's me, I ain't buying nothing in terms of averaging down until I'm damn close to 60 or better yet in the 50s. And you've got to have patience. This sort of bubble burst does not get rectified overnight. And had you been in that fucking Discord that I've been telling you about now for 2.5 years, I would have gotten many of you out. I actually had a couple of guys, including one in the comments last video, who quit a 1.5 years ago. But for whatever reason, he decided to listen to me, and he wrote me a very nice comment, and I appreciate that, Rob, about how he got out hours before the crash. It's not just the kind of money you make when you're 84 and 2, and that's 700% since last August. It's the amount of times that I will keep you from panicking at the lows and getting FOMO'd the fuck up at the highs. You have to ask yourself, fellas, where was this a few months ago? For crying out loud, silver was $20. You were paying 6x of where it was a stone's throw ago. That's a huge fucking mistake. And get the hell away from anybody who tells you that charts don't matter. Warren Buffett, the guy who's been gagging for the last 5 or 10 years, a legend, or should I say a former legend. The charts will tell you almost everything you need to know. Where's supply and demand? Where is support? Where's resistance? Are we overbought or oversold based on the indicators? And anytime you're that fucking high above your 50 and your 200 period moving average, and you had an RSI in gold of almost 97, something that's never happened, you're coming the fuck down. The good news, in case you didn't hear me a few minutes ago, excuse me, you're most likely not going to have to wait a lifetime to see 100 plus in silver. Minimum 3 to 6 months, probably a year or two. And what the hell, now that I've said that, is going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum? By the way, ISM Manufacturing blew away estimates at 52.6. That's the highest reading in 2.5 years. That's why the Q's bounced again. Every time you think they're going to take it out to the woodshed and give us the annual 10 to 15% drawdown, whoop, back up we go. But you're watching a head fake in progress, 79,250 on Bitcoin. They got the big meeting in Washington today. Expect them to come out and say something along the lines of a lot of progress being made. And in simple terms, the banks are terrified that the crypto space is going to steal all that CD money, all that money market money, and start offering rates of return on crypto. But I wouldn't be surprised if Trump, Mr. Crypto himself, and his sons that were buying Bitcoin back in April of last year at the same price we were in last night when we were buying at 74.5 or thereabouts. What happens if they let him start buying Coinbase? And the big banks get even bigger and they take everything. And as Larry Fink at BlackRock said, they tokenize everything under one fucking stablecoin. You don't think they're being told what the plan is? You don't think that JP Morgan, that was upside down, I almost forgot it, senior moment there, wasn't going to come back and fucking figure out a way to get that $9 billion upside down short in silver back? Folks, and I realize this is a detour. I was in the investment banking business from 1993 to 07. I used to work in the Bank of America building in Fort Lauderdale, 19th floor. Used to hang out at the Tower Club often. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been there. And they used to come out during lunch or the middle of the afternoon and make fun of guys like me. It's the stock jocks. It's the penny stock whores. And then I started hanging out with some of these guys at Merrill Lynch, Payne Weber back in the day, Morgan Stanley. And you know what? They'd be doing lines of fucking cocaine off of girls, talking trash, popping pills, saying how they were going to backstab a client and fucking steal money. These guys are worse than I or any of my penny stock fucking boiler room buddies ever were. I guarantee that somebody came in a few weeks ago and they tapped the silver desk on the shoulder and says, "What's the P&L? Sorry, sir. We're upside down about $8.5 billion. Really? Who gave you authorization to go that heavy?" You in my office. And I challenged them if they're fucking watching to prove me wrong. Somebody got on the phone to the man himself. We'll call him Jamie, and said, "We got a problem. We're upside down $8-9 billion in silver. It's gone from 20 and change to $1.22 or thereabouts at the time that these fucking phone calls, most likely on a burner cell phone, were made." And he probably got on the phone with the CME, HSBC, the London Gold Exchange, who, by the way, they both had a simultaneous 1-hour outage at the same time they raised margin requirements on the CME. And what a surprise. JP Morgan covers all that short, $1 off the low at 75. Wall Street cares nothing about you and me. Nothing. You're scum. You're liquidity. You're a dumb retail fucking idiot. They will do anything possible to cover their ass, to rectify a loss on the short or the long side. And if it involves calling the CME and a couple of their buddies in the banking system and the London Gold Exchange, they'll do it. You bet your ass they covered their fucking tracks, but they did it. It's crystal fucking clear. And with that said, let's get back to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Folks, I get paid $100 a month. You'll make a fortune. I know what I'm talking about. You may not like my delivery at times. Ask me if I fucking care. I've earned the right to be in this fucking chair and be shadow banned to death because I have 12 to 15 F-bombs in every video and I can't stand the prior administration and I voted for number 45 and 7, so they won't show me to any more than 500 or 600 fucking people. But when it comes to making money, there is no better. You should have bought, if you were following me on the YouTube wall, a third of your Bitcoin in and around 75K, which is coincidentally what Saylor owns all of his in around 75 or 6. And you're not getting sucked into this bounce. This is just like last bear market low of 22, which took 6 months. I showed everyone in 4 or 5 videos already in the Discord. 90% of my content's behind closed doors. There was a giant candle in June, just like the one we just had down to 74.5, a double bottom to last April's fake trade war low. Then you had a bounce like we're having now. Wouldn't be surprised, 82, 83. Don't forget, you've got that rising wedge breakdown. You're not going through that any fucking time soon. There's some more shadow band for you. You're going to go back down. Oh my God, what if we don't hold 74.5? You've got another order to buy in and around 72, and then you're all in with the final third, 68. And if I'm wrong, and we just keep on trucking, guess what? We already have a stock that we bought back. First letter N inside the Discord. We made money with it a couple of months ago. And we bought ETHA for retirement at 17.25. So overall, our exposure in crypto with Bitcoin and Ethereum is close to 10% of the total, which in case you didn't fucking hear me in one of the most unusual videos I've done in a long time. 405 wins, 21 losses, 1,844% return in the last 2.5 years. You want to get rich? You'll click the pinned comment below. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, always remember that I love you and I really appreciate you watching.